Hey, brother. I hate to say it, but I think The Rock was right when he said this press event would be talked about forever. It was one of the greatest pieces of WWE storytelling I have ever seen. And they didn't shy away from anything. When they were talking about WrestleMania history, they showed Daniel Bryan, they showed Mercedes Moné, Bianca Belair mentioned Sasha Banks by name. Michael Cole introduced CM Punk as AJ Lee's husband. There was a lot that was said in this hour 15-minute press conference, starting with the announcement of WWE Speed, which is a collaboration between WWE and X, formerly known as Twitter, which will showcase 5-minute matches exclusively on Twitter starting in the spring of 2024. Bianca Belair came out and announced that she will be at WrestleMania and that her road starts with qualifying at the Elimination Chamber, which she's going to win. She has a match against Michin Mia Yim. Michin is in there to lose. But when Rhea Ripley came out, Becky Lynch interrupted her and clearly set up Becky versus Rhea. So it's pretty obvious that Becky Lynch is going to end up winning the chamber, and they keep bringing it up that it's her first chamber. So I'm not going to be surprised when Becky Lynch wins. Now, on to the main event of this press conference. Pay-per-view worthy, by the way, but it was free. I watched it on YouTube. You could have watched it on Peacock. You could have watched it anywhere. This press conference felt so real from the very beginning. When Seth Rollins came out and introduced Cody Rhodes, making it seem like Cody was going to pick Seth, and Roman Reigns' music hit, giving us Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns facing off for the first time with these new belts. Roman Reigns coming out saying that it's really up to him who he main events WrestleMania with, and he chose The Rock. Seth Rollins kind of chiming in throughout saying that's not how this works. That's not how this works. Is hilarious. Roman Reigns also incredibly funny, dismissing Seth Rollins throughout the entire thing. Kind of made Seth Rollins look bad, but I mean, it made Roman Reigns look so good up until the end. I hate to say it, but when The Rock comes out, people can't help but cheer when they hear his music. But once the music settled, he started getting booed. You could actually see how much it affects The Rock. Every time he was about to say something, and the crowd started booing, he took it in. And I liked that he showed that it affected him. And every time he would lift the mic up to his face, they would boo, and he'd put it down. Seemed like he didn't know what to do with this reaction. He got "We want Rocky, Rocky sucks" chants, started getting blasted with "We want Cody" chants. He said, do you think Roman's going to beat The Rock? The crowd cheered. Do you think The Rock's going to beat Roman? Some people cheered. And he got booed when he said, do you think The Rock versus Roman is going to be the biggest main event? Immediate boos. At least with the other times when he mentioned Rock winning or Roman winning, he got some cheers. But when he brought up that it was going to be the biggest main event, everybody in that arena booed. And right when he was thanking the media and he was about to thank the WWE Universe, the fans started chanting, "We want Cody." And The Rock, kind of leaning into this heel persona, told the media to witness Cody's crybabies. Something he coined on Pat McAfee's show earlier in the day. I think it's kind of lame. I think The Rock could do better, but whatever. He's going with Cody's crybabies. And then he pulled out the Samoan family tree, a graphic showcasing The Rock's grandfather and Roman's grandfather making a blood oath, making them family, to which Seth groaned, which I thought was hilarious. But The Rock then said that this is why this is going to be the biggest main event of WrestleMania. And it doesn't matter what the fans think, because it is true. He went over and he shook Roman's hand, making the match official, or so we thought, until Cody Rhodes came out. No music and called BS. He said he made his decision on Instagram, and that he did by picking Roman Reigns. And at that point, Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce, and Triple H all came out, making it seem like it was not part of the plan, like this press event wasn't supposed to go that way. They had the graphics of Rock and Roman up on the screens, so it made it feel just a little bit more real. And then Roman took the mic and started telling Cody how he was irrelevant, how this wasn't about him, how he's just as relevant as his dad, to which Cody scoffed at and told them both basically to shove it, because how are they going to be the head of the table when they haven't been doing the cooking for the last 2 years? I thought that was so funny. And honestly, he kind of ate. But what I don't understand is this angle that they're taking with Rock and Roman, which is interesting. Not to say it's not interesting, but Roman obviously brought up Dusty, and everyone has brought up Dusty. So then when Cody does it, Cody challenges Roman and Rock by saying, if your grandfathers were here, if the High Chief was here, they would all be disappointed in what they're doing, which is basically hijacking the main event. And then The Rock steps up to Cody and tells him that if he's talking about his family, speaking of Roman, he's talking about The Rock's family. And he slaps Cody across the face. And at that point, it's chaos. Everyone's trying to break up everybody. Seth Rollins is in there trying to tell them, and rightfully telling them, that just because he's on the board of directors, he can't be doing all this. He can't just do whatever he wants. And The Rock and Roman are saying that they can openly do whatever they want. But they end up getting separated, and on the commentary table where Big E, Pat McAfee, CM Punk, and Michael Cole were at, Michael Cole confirmed, and the Triple H tweeted, that the main event of WrestleMania is in fact Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes for the championship. I'm sure we're going to see more about that in the coming weeks, but that just proves how effective this storytelling is, because now you better believe I'm going to tune into Raw on Monday. I'm going to tune into SmackDown on Friday. I'm going to get up at 2 in the morning to watch Elimination Chamber, because I got to see where this goes, and it's because it all felt real. It's the little things, I think, that make this feel so effective. Some things that probably weren't planned, like when Michael Cole asked CM Punk about what just happened, and CM Punk said he would have slapped or punched The Rock in the face, and telling the fans who wants to see Rock get punched in the face while The Rock is sitting on the stage, I think was a nice touch. Hopefully that doesn't start any problems with Punk and Rock backstage after this. We'll see. But it all felt so real, and as they were closing the show, it goes backstage to Triple H getting interviewed, trying to see how he feels about all this chaos when The Rock and Roman and Paul Heyman come out. Roman looking like The Rock's little brother, just following him around, but The Rock ordering Triple H to fix this before, quote, we do, speaking of the bloodline, and Triple H is telling him that he's out of line, and just Rock standing up, being totally heelish, even saying the F word that had to be bleeped out, which I think he said, based on Twitter and the people who were there and reading his lips, he said something to the effect of slapping his effing teeth out of his mouth. And while I'm not sure where that leaves The Rock, I have to say, if this was planned from the very beginning, Triple H is a genius. If this has been pivoted to where it's at now because of the reaction that Rock, Cody, and Roman received on Twitter, on X, then The Rock is a genius. I have to say. I have to give him his credit. He has been hyping up this press event. He's been hyping up this WrestleMania. And his performance in this press event is Oscar worthy. I think it's the best acting The Rock has ever done. And it's got me interested. I'm very interested. And the whole thing felt real. And I think this press event accomplished what it needed to do. To set up the main event of WrestleMania, to further storyline. It did sting a little bit to see Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, kind of literally being backseated by The Rock, following him around backstage, letting The Rock stand up to Cody and slap him. I could have done without that. I'm sure while Roman Reigns and The Rock are kind of bonded by blood right now, they're family, they're working together. Eventually, it's going to lead to Rock and Roman having a match, which Roman better win. But I mean, they're family. They're going to stick together, right? And so while the question of Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and the main event of WrestleMania has been answered, I saw people saying perhaps a tag team match. I would actually be okay with that if it was Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman at the main event of night 2. That frees up night 1 for the women. Continues Roman Reigns' historic title run. Still technically means Cody picked Roman for WrestleMania. Maybe it wasn't for the title, but still. And gives Seth that high profile feud in the main event of night 2. So I think it's a win-win. I would be okay with that. Though, also, I think it's time Cody beats Roman and finishes his story already. But I think if they went with a tag team match, I wouldn't be mad. A lot of people probably wouldn't be mad. I don't know. We'll see. I just had to come in here, recap the press event, and give my 2 cents again. But I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see where we go.
And most importantly, the husband of AJ Lee.